Today, I want to pull back the curtain and share with you what I am doing to proactively prevent cognitive decline. So, I want to share my top 5 things that I am currently doing to help protect my brain. Hi, Dr. Cindy here. And I just turned 50. I celebrated my 50th birthday, and I'm not afraid of aging. This milestone has definitely made me pause and reflect and think, how do I want to spend the next couple of decades of my life into my 60s and 70s and beyond? How do I want to feel as I age? How do I want to be able to show up for my loved ones, my family, my patients, my coworkers? How do I want to be able to serve them the best I possibly can? And as a physician who works in cognitive decline prevention and treatment, I talk every day with patients who are afraid of losing their mind as they age. So today, I want to pull back the curtain and share with you what I am doing to proactively prevent cognitive decline. I try to practice what I preach, and I definitely have a goal of living a long health span, the time I'm alive and well and flourishing, God willing. And so I want to share my top 5 things that I made a little list of the top 5 things that I am currently doing to help protect my brain. So, number one is sleep. I prioritize sleep relentlessly and without apology. Sleep has become a non negotiable for me. I use a wearable rather. I'm not chasing perfection with sleep, but the data really does help me to stay honest with myself. And most nights, I aim for 7.5 hours of sleep. I try to go to bed at least a couple hours before midnight because that helps me drop into that deep restorative sleep cycle. And I also try to avoid eating a couple hours before bedtime. If I'm really hungry, I'll have a piece of fruit before I go to bed, but I try to go to bed with an empty stomach and get 12 to 13 or more hours of intermittent fasting overnight. That helps my body rest and repair and be ready for the next day. So, sleep matters so much. It is when our lymphatic system activates and our brain clears out that amyloid and other neurotoxic compounds in the brain. It's basically the brain's way of cleaning house overnight. So no supplement can replace sleep, no pharmaceutical can replace sleep, and we can't do it by biohacking. We really have to dedicate the time to sleep. It's so foundational. So that's number one. Number two is I tend to my relationships very intentionally. I'm happily married and have 3 wonderful daughters, one who's away at college, 2 that are still at home, and I make time to connect with them. I guard our connection really intentionally. I prioritize time to be with them, staying connected also electronically with texts and calls and little check-ins during the day. I also intentionally keep my circle of close friends pretty small, but these relationships are vital to me. They're steady places where I can show up and be myself, where we could be honest and laugh and have fun and just let our guards down. I'm also super blessed to have a wonderful church community here in Asheville, North Carolina. We do weekly worship together. And also in my practice, I absolutely adore my team. We have a beautiful working relationship. I'm so grateful for them. And then, of course, our patients. I get a lot of fulfillment and joy from connecting with our patients. So we know that loneliness is a huge risk factor for chronic disease and increases our mortality risk. So these spaces where we can show up, be ourselves, and connect with others are really healing for our health. It's part of how we tend to our own hearts and of course, tend to those who are important in our lives. And this leads me right into the next thing I've been focusing on, which is also key, is number 3 is muscle. I purposefully move my body in a way that helps to maintain lean muscle mass as I age. It's so important for our brain health. Of course, my relationship with exercise has shifted as I'm aging. I'm doing it in a way that's supportive of my body. I try to be gentle, but also push myself out of my comfort zone with strength training. I'm doing that twice a week, very intensely with a trainer. I also do core work and take time to do cardiovascular fitness. I participate in a dance class twice a week that is so fun. It helps me try to get in touch with rhythm and joy and fun and play, which is so, so key for our health. And I try to get outside when I can for hiking in nature, which of course is healing in and of itself. Just that cardiovascular exercise helps us with blood flow to the brain and improves our BDNF, our brain derived neurotrophic factor, as we get out and move our bodies. And also, jumping is key, especially for women as we age. That plyometric type exercise helps to stimulate our bones, the osteoblasts cells in our bones, to lay down new bone, which is really key as we age to keep our bones strong and keep us resilient. So number 4 is that I track my biomarkers because, frankly, you can't change what you don't measure. One thing that I've definitely learned over the years is that paying attention to our health doesn't have to come from a place of fear and anxiety. We can do it out of a sense of love and stewardship for our bodies. So there's a handful of biomarkers that I check on myself twice a year to see what's going on beneath the surface. I don't look at these as a report card or judgment on myself, but rather just a gentle nudge to guide me into next steps, so that we can take action early if there's anything that shows up. I want to see how my body is handling stress, how it's doing metabolically, where my insulin and blood sugar and inflammatory markers are. I check, in various nutritional markers like magnesium and vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids. So I'm always, trying to be curious about my body and just staying engaged with the process as I age. And now number 5 is I reserve that for last because it's what holds everything together for me, and that is my faith. My spiritual health is the piece that just anchors everything for me. So spending time on my inner life, my connection with God, staying rooted in who I am as a child of God, and just connected. The older I get, the more I realize how much this matters and how much our sense of meaning and purpose matter for our health and our flourishing and really our longevity. My faith is what gives context to life and aging. It's not just about, chasing youth or making youth an idol. We don't want to do that. Or, just about fear of early death, but rather stewardship of taking care of myself so that I can walk out my purpose in life. So beyond the science, we know that, you know, I personally know that this is really the key for people, for all walks of life, being in touch with something greater than ourselves, something that brings meaning and purpose into our life. That's what really keeps us going. That's what helps heal us. And I wish that for you. If you're listening and you're resonating, super. if you're feeling overwhelmed, please know that this is not meant to be a checklist or be something heavy on you. You can just start where you are, take little tiny baby steps, and just work toward maybe one or two of these things that stood out to you. So I am grateful for you being here and listening. We have a Rethink Aging community, so I would love for you to check that out. If you want to go deeper on these topics, we meet once a month for a masterclass, and then once a year we check in with our biologic age. It's an important biomarker to help see how fast or slow we are aging. And so I'd love for you to join us in the next masterclass. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of Rethink Aging, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. For more episodes and highlights from the show, you can check out more videos right here and here. I also invite you to join the Rethink Aging community at caringforthebody.org, where you can find more resources on how to better protect your brain, strengthen your body, and live with purpose. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode.